It's good to be home and with you from vacation, but it is not good to be in this heat. Not to pour salt in the wound, but when we were on the top of Grandfather Mountain, the high each day was 74, and the low was 58 to 60. It was a bit shocking to come back. We have a gospel today which puzzles scholars and continues to puzzle scholars because we know that in the ancient world, hospitality was important. Hospitality was vital. Hospitality allowed you to survive a nomadic world, and that's why in the Old Testament, any stranger that came upon your doorstep, you were supposed to feed and house. That's what's happening in the first reading. 3 strangers come to Abraham's tent, and he kills a calf and feeds them and has his wife Sarah bake bread. And in the midst of that meal, he's aware that these strangers somehow mystically are carrying God's presence. And through that, Abraham is told that Sarah is going to bear a child. What we don't get is what happens next. Sarah hears their message that she's going to become pregnant, and she laughs hysterically because she's old. So when she does become pregnant, and when she does give birth, they name the child Isaac, which means laughter. And we know from Jesus that he has to depend on the hospitality of strangers for his ministry. We've heard him say a couple weeks ago, birds have nests and foxes have holes, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. It was a nomadic preaching ministry. Everywhere Jesus went, he depended on someone saying, "Come eat with me, come stay here." It was that ministry of hospitality he depended on. So when Martha is the one that came up to him and said, "Come to my house, you can stay here, I'll feed you, I have a place for you to sleep with your disciples," that was vital. So what is it about this whole conversation between she and her sister? And what is it about Jesus saying Mary's chosen the better part? Isn't she just sitting there doing nothing? Isn't she supposed to help? Isn't this ministry of hospitality foremost? That's what puzzles scholars. But I think the word that's key in the gospel is distracted. Martha was distracted by all the stuff that she had to do. And Jesus actually says to her, "Martha, Martha, you are distracted." I don't know about you, but I live a life in this chaotic world that is full of distractions. And one of the wonderful things about our vacation was that we were completely unplugged. We arrived on the top of a mountain on a Sunday morning, and we did not leave till 8 days later on a Monday morning. Cell service was sketchy or non-existent, so there were no phone calls, there was no email, there were no texts. There was no teenage daughter. There was no teenage daughter's cat. And I found myself at the very beginning jumping. I'm supposed to be doing something. What am I supposed to be doing? And this vacation had no agenda except to be. It rained one day, so we just took a nap. One morning I woke up and it was 9:30. I haven't seen 9:30 since my college days. And I think that is what Jesus is pointing to. That when we're distracted, we can't hear God. The chaos of our schedule, the chaos of our devices, the chaos of our mind worrying 1,000 miles a minute, thinking about all the things that we need to do, the way in which we schedule ourselves where stuff is piled up, piled up, piled up, there is no room to be. And on top of that our Puritan ancestors in this country had the saying, don't just sit there and do nothing. We have in our minds that Protestant work ethic that we need to produce. We need to be about something productive. And what Jesus is trying to say is sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to sit at my feet and listen. Listen to what I have to tell you. Listen to what I have to say to you. That's why the practice of meditation has always been an important part of Christianity. And when I say meditation, I don't mean prayer. Because oftentimes for us, prayer is, God, it's a mess down here. What about this and what about that? Can you fix this and can you fix that? No, none of that. I'm talking about sitting and being. Not saying a word. Now, when you do that, your mind is going to go nuts. Because your mind hasn't had that opportunity before. And it may start filling your head with all the things that you've pushed aside because your agenda is so full. So there are a couple practical tips about meditation I would offer. The first is start small. Don't commit that you're going to meditate for 20 minutes. If you've never meditated before, you'll never make 20 minutes. Maybe start with 5. And set an alarm. That's where your device may come in handy. Set an alarm for 5 minutes and put it away somewhere so that you don't have to constantly be thinking, how long has it been? How long has it been? Is it almost over? If you need to, put a little pad, pen and paper, beside you so that if you start getting wild, what about this? You need to fix this. Just write it down and say, okay, I've written that down, and let that go. But start allowing your mind to just release all that stuff. And then just be aware of your breathing. Some people find it helpful to have something to say as they breathe in and out, like, Lord have mercy, or come Jesus, or come Spirit, that you say over and over again. But that's the only word that you say. And then you listen. Listen to the God who wants to tell you how much you're loved. And listen to the God who wants to direct your path. Who has hopes and dreams and plans for you that you'll never know unless you hear them. You might hear a word in your head, you might have a thought pass your mind. These are all ways in which Jesus can speak to you. So in a world full of words, and certainly in a liturgical form that is full of words, we're going to do something different today. I'm going to stop talking so that you can listen, so that I can listen. I will be your alarm today. After 5 minutes, I'll say Amen, and the band will start the reflection song. But listen. Sit at the feet of Jesus and hear what he has to say to you.